Kim here with Abundant Life Tarot. Welcome to a Mystery Mystic Musings reading, and I want to thank my dear subscriber Reve Denuit 1 for recommending Debbie Collier's case. I didn't know too much about it. I had heard about Debbie's tragic murder, but because of the hurricane that I recently experienced, I was completely distracted and didn't know much about the case. So I've already recorded the oracle reading, the opening oracle reading that I like to do for these cases. I already did that. But as I was putting my decks away, something told me to shuffle this deck, and I did. And these two cards jumped. Daughter, Lovers. When you watch the rest of the video, this video, you will understand why this made me pause. When I saw the daughter. The daughter knows something, and the lovers, maybe the lover of the daughter or the lover of Debbie or both, they know something. They could be involved, but this made me stop cold in my tracks. So I was like, well, let me just see what else shows up. And then we'll go right into the main opening oracle reading. Can't escape. Wow. Okay, so we got dark hair color, forest. She was found in a wooded area. This also could speak metaphorically to being in the thick of the forest and not able to see your way out of a situation. Then we got light hair color. What these two cards imply to me is that there's two different people involved, one with dark hair color, one with light hair color, okay? And then we got choke. This could be like, actually, this is one of the things that happened to Debbie, you know, in the course of someone taking her life, or it could be somebody trying to choke back words, like to choke up information, to, you know, to thwart authorities' direction by, you know, by closing off, silence, choke. Can't escape. This is a situation where Debbie felt she could not escape, is what I'm taking away from this card. And when, like I said, when you watch the rest of this video, you will understand, wow, how these cards all tie together. There were signs. There were signs that this was actually just on the path to happening. Months in the making even. People may have, around Debbie, and even Debbie herself may have ignored signs. This also could speak to signs that we will start to see as this case starts to unfold further and further. And then finally, child. This is heartbreaking. Look at this. This woman has angel wings and a halo holding a child's hand. Now, this could mean that a child had something to do with Debbie's demise. It could mean that now maybe she's, you know, crossed over and has met up with a child angel. But I'm sensing that this is implying that someone very intimate to Debbie had something to do with this case. So now that we've done the opening oracle reading, and before we even get started there, if you want to know a bit more about what happened to Debbie, I did include some links in the description box you can read up on. There is no shortage of videos, from what I can tell, on YouTube from the true crime community that are discussing this case actively. Check them out if you are so inclined, but just understand that Debbie suffered before, during the attack, and before, well before, okay? Mentally before. So just understand what you're getting into when you start to read up on this case. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started into the opening oracle reading. Okay, let's get to our opening oracle reading. This is for Debbie Collier. Spirit, we're tapping to the energies of what may have happened to her, and more importantly, why. Because I understand that people already have their suspicions of who may be responsible for her heinous murder. But one of my dear subscribers wanted to see if we could find what may have happened and why, more so than anything. Okay, we got dagger, dove, broom, snake. I'm getting chills. It's been a while since I sat here at this reading table for this particular type of reading. And mushroom. Okay. Anything else? I think that's it. I'll see if we get one more, and if not, then we'll stop at 5 cards. We got dagger, dove, broom, snake, and mushroom. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. No other cards will be jumping. I'm going to now zoom in so we can take a closer look, right? We want to take a closer look and see what is going on here with Debbie Collier. She's such a beautiful spirit, I can tell. All right, let me zoom in so we can get a little closer. Okay. All right, so we've got dagger, right? We got the dagger card. That's the first card that jumped, followed by the dove card. And the dagger card is, with the snake also being in this particular spread, it is alarming. I don't know too much about this case because when it came about, and when it really came on my radar, I was, focusing on other things, okay? So I don't know much about it other than just a brief understanding. This card is about deceit, betrayal, hidden aggressions. When you have a card like this, a dagger, this is like backstab, someone stabbed you in the back. This could also be a literal stabbing. Someone stabbed her, someone harmed her with malice in their hearts. When we think about the word betrayal, that usually implies that the person knew, that Debbie knew who did this, that this was personal. And this is of no secret, right? One of the things that I saw in a recent little news clipping is that the police said that this case, that the public doesn't have to worry because this was a targeted, deliberate, and personal attack. It wasn't where she took her own life. It wasn't that a stranger is out there doing these things. This was something that was personal. And that ties in with the dagger card. So this was something personal, a strong sense of betrayal I'm sensing here. This could represent her transitioning on. This act of betrayal caused her to move on, to go from a place of just constant aggression coming at her to a place of harmony and peace. I sense that the moments, the months, maybe even the years leading up to this vicious attack have been disharmonious. What is it? Disharmonious. Can't talk. Challenging, difficult. And once this happened, there was a peace that befell onto her. Okay. This card also represents one of the key words is friendship. And when I see cards next to a card that indicates betrayal, that indicates to me that, there was a time that there was something beautiful, a beautiful connection, but then there was an act that ended up turning against her. So if there was somebody that did this to her, it is most likely someone close to her, is what these two cards are telling me. Broom, cleaning up something, trying to clean up, cover your tracks, trying to get a situation in order. Someone needed to get a situation in order that was around her. Perhaps this is a cover-up for what they've done, or there could be also a bigger cover-up in terms of them needing to do this. Them, her, him, I don't know. We'll see if there's multiple parties involved or not. But the broom card also, it also can indicate a sexual encounter. Doesn't always, okay? But what is tragic in this situation is that she was found nude. Like, what else is the police going to find as they are completing her autopsy? Or maybe they've already done the autopsy, and what else have they found? It is alarming to me to see that. She was definitely brutalized with this dagger card and broom card. But this also is about someone needing to cover their tracks, clean up what they've done. They went through great lengths to clean up and to try to make sure that no one would know what they have been up to. It also implies, it says domestic duties is one of the key phrases to this card. Again, somebody close to home. Sorry guys. Forgot to turn my alarm off. Someone close to home. Someone close to her. We got confirmation of that with the dagger, dove, and broom. Next up, we got the snake. This is like being bitten by a snake. It ties back to the dagger card of a sense of betrayal here, okay? There's a strong sense of betrayal going on with this situation. Oh my goodness, with the notifications. You can tell I haven't recorded in a while because I'm like, I forgot to turn all the little notifications and things off. My apologies. Snake, being bitten once, and then that bite is poisoned the situation. So to me, this means that she had been bitten once before by someone, and it tainted and poisoned the situation. It tainted her. It was a poisonous situation. The snake card, it just really affirms for me that there is somebody, a snake in her midst, okay? This card is also about temptations. Not being able to avoid temptation. When you think of like Adam and Eve and the snake in the garden of, the garden with the apple and the snake presenting the apple, there was something of a temptation. Could it have been money related? Is it drug related? I don't know. But there's some level of temptation here. Fear. Debbie was fearful. Debbie had fear in her heart. She had fears, and it's really sad to me. It's really sad because I sense, knew of what was coming. There was some kind of sick, like poisoning of the mind, placing fear on her. Placing fears on her. Talking reckless to her, making her fearful in the months and even years leading up to this situation. The mushroom card, finally, is about a growing problem. And that's what I'm talking about here, a growing problem. This was something that transpired months in the making, weeks and months, years in the making. It was a growing problem. Could be tied to some sort of addiction, some sort of needing money all the time, just constantly an apple that they're pining over. A growing problem. And I don't know if she conveyed that growing problem or confided in friends, perhaps, or her spouse or someone, but it was a growing problem that people probably are aware of. Okay, it's what I sense. People were probably aware of this growing problem with her, that she was dealing with this betrayal. Poor decisions is also what this card is tied to. One of the key phrases, poor decisions. Someone, it could have been her making a poor decision not to stand up to this snake, not to, needing help to confront them, but instead trying to handle the situation on her own. The other thing is the perpetrator or perpetrators. They were also the ones making poor decisions. This is a failure in good judgment, taking a risk, finally going ahead and taking a risk to completely harm her. It's really upsetting, I just, the horror that this woman was going through. Let me reshuffle. The horror that she was going through leading up to her death, it's just really heartbreaking, my heart goes out to her. It's not right at all. It's devastating to know that a human being went through all of that. All right, so because it's not just the physical harm that was happening, it was the poisoning of her mind leading up to this devastating tragedy. Oh, okay. So Spirit, we'd like some additional guidance, please. Thank you. Let's see. Reshuffle. We'd like some additional guidance on what and who may have done this. Forgetting oneself. Addicted. Oh my goodness. Somebody's addicted. Addicted to drugs, money, sex, sadistic things. But I'm sensing when I see an addicted card, it's oftentimes speaking about drugs. If no other cards jump, we'll go with these two. Okay, no other cards. So we got forgetting oneself and addicted. And look at that. Look at that. You see that? So, it ties in with the dagger card, doesn't it? Forgetting oneself. When you are an addict, you definitely forget yourself in the midst of it all. You forget that you had a dear connection with people or with a person in your life. You forget how to live day to day. You're chasing after that high. You are almost a zombie of sorts. You are addicted and you've forgotten who you are, what you're truly about. Forgetting oneself also could speak to, in dealing with someone's addiction, Debbie forgot herself in this. Perhaps maybe overprotecting someone or not revealing or confiding in, the right people who could really truly help her to see, you've got to protect yourself, because there's somebody who will just do anything and everything that they can to get what it is that they want, including betraying you. Okay. I'm gonna shuffle this deck. When I first heard of this case, I was like, well, maybe it's money motivated or something. But it feels more like if it's money motivated, it's more to do with somebody's addiction. Spirit, is there anything else you wish to share with us about Debbie Collier's murder? Illegal activities played a role. Okay. So it says victim didn't know the killer. Now, I do sense with the betrayal card, she did know who is ultimately the one responsible and orchestrated this whole thing. She was betrayed, and I think in the afterlife, Debbie understands and knows more than she did when she was in this physical plane, okay? It could be that somebody helped the person who backstabbed her, and maybe Debbie didn't know this person and this other person did sadistic things. It also could represent, remember, we have forgetting oneself. Maybe she didn't realize the true gravity of this addiction, and that she didn't know this person. This person had like transformed, and she didn't realize what they had transformed into, which was a snake. So it could mean that, or it literally could mean she just didn't know the person who ultimately took her life. I just find it peculiar that her clothes were taken off. She was treated in such a horrendous way. Like, who would do that? Could it potentially have been a loved one? Or could it have been someone who, a loved one or someone who betrayed her that said, you go ahead and do this. Here's the money, or here's what you need to do it. And, I'm going to try to remove myself from the situation. It could be that. I say that because we got premeditated murder. Killer planned out the details in advance. Look, a female with an axe. Backstab, probably by a female. I don't know if I have much else to add on this. I don't want this video too long, but we'll see if there's anything else that comes up here. Oh, my husband's coming back. Okay, and then we got additional evidence is at the crime scene. I'm going to probably have to go because him and his friend are loud as hell. But Debbie, is there anything else to add? If not, we'll stop here. Tied up and bound. I may do a part 2. Let me know if you all want me to, and we can use the tarot with that. And then you can also list some questions in the comment section that you would like to have answered in the tarot reading if we do a part 2 to this. But I wanted to just get it, because I do sense that it is someone close to her. I'm not going to name who police are thinking that it is, or who people are suspecting for a variety of reasons. I just think it's safe not to do that. But I think that we know that it's someone close to her that ultimately betrayed her. Okay, let me see. So we got tied up and bound. So she was tied up and bound. Southeast, this is directionally. I'm not sure what that refers to in terms of Maybe she was taken southeast from where she was headed, or where she was living, or where she worked, or somebody lives southeast who's responsible southeast from her. Okay. Spring is of significance. I sense that what spring is saying is that, remember I said this was months in the making. Something became aware to her in the springtime that things were, getting a lot more hectic and more scarier. That's when fears really started to set in for her. She just didn't know the full gravity. Debbie didn't understand the full gravity of what was to come. And then we have uniform, impersonation, corruption, and false. This is not so much that I'm feeling like police corruption. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying here is that there was somebody who had false pretenses, and they may have been impersonating. One moment. Okay. Thank you. Corruption is also about someone who is corrupt in her midst. Someone who's corrupt. And the police are going to figure out exactly who that person or persons is. But springtime also could signify when major developments will happen in this case. It could be when people are arrested, or when people get arraigned, or when they go to jail, or when they go, when the trial starts, or it's just something big in the case. But I also really strongly sense that the springtime is dealing with when things really started to kick off for her. And it started to really get scarier and scarier this past spring. Okay? All right. My husband's home, and I need to go and deal with that. So I thank you all so much for watching, and I just really appreciate you watching and following along with me as we do these cases. These are very difficult cases. My heart goes out to Debbie. I'm so sorry, my love, that this happened to you. My prayers go up for her loved ones and friends who loved and supported her. And I pray for justice, swift justice in her case. Please do me a favor on the way out. Don't forget to like the video, and also to subscribe so we can, be a part of this community, and you can share with me some cases that you'd like for me to explore during Mystery Mystic readings, okay? So thank you. Sorry for all of the interruptions. I'm getting back into the flow of recording these readings, so bear with me, you all. Much love to all of you. See you all later.